Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this session of Spokane Public Schools Keep Learning Series for Literacy. Today's lesson is for 4th grade students, but any child out there that would like to follow along with us is welcome. My name is Jennifer Carnahan, and I am an instructional coach at Whitman Elementary School in Spokane Public Schools, and I will be your teacher today. I'm so glad you are participating with us. If you didn't see our previous lesson, you can find it on the KSPS website. You can still tune in to today's lesson, even if you haven't seen any of our others. Today, we will be learning about how to identify a sequence of events in a nonfiction text. For today's lesson, you will need a piece of notebook paper and a writing tool. I will give you a moment to collect your supplies. All right, let's get started. Today I have a very interesting text for you called The Right Dog for the Job. This text was written by Dorothy Hinshaw Patent, and the photographs were taken by William Munoz. This text is about dogs that have a very important job. As we read today, we are going to notice the sequence or order in which events are organized. Some events may happen at the same time, but others follow one after another. At the end of today's lesson, you will have a completed graphic organizer that will help you to write a summary. There are some vocabulary words that I would like to review with you before we read the text. First, let's read the sentence below the picture, and then we will see if we can create our own sentences using the vocabulary words. Number 1, graduate. Some dogs graduate to show they have completed obedience school. Now think about your own sentence using the word. Okay, say your sentence aloud and I will say mine too. Graduate. My daughter will graduate next fall. All right. Word number 2, foster. Some service dogs live with foster caretakers for a short time. Think about your sentence. I'll share mine with you. I adopted my cat from a foster caretaker. Foster. Number 3, disobey. Well-trained dogs don't disobey or ignore their owner's commands. Think about a sentence. This is mine. The mom scolded her child when she chose to disobey. Maybe yours was similar? Let's move on to word number 5, confidence. Praising a dog helps it gain confidence, that is, learning well. Confidence. I think about my son with confidence. My son has great confidence when he wrestles. Confidence. And our last word is patiently. Show dogs must remain calm and wait patiently for long periods. Patiently. My sentence for this one is, please wait patiently until the doctor is ready. All right, hopefully you'll keep these vocabulary words in mind as we read through the text. Before we begin, I want you to think about the many things you do each day to stay safe, such as looking both ways before crossing the street. For people with disabilities, staying safe can be a challenge. Imagine how difficult it is for a person who cannot see to safely cross a busy street. Here is the cool thing. Some animals can be trained to help people with disabilities do many of the things they otherwise could not do. The Right Dog for the Job tells the story of a service dog named Ira. As we read, you'll find out how Ira learned the many things that a service dog needs to know. Because we will be tracking the sequence of events in Ira's story, our guiding question will be, in what order does Ira learn new skills? As we read, we will stop, think, and take notes on the new skills that Ira learns. To keep track of our thinking as we read, we will be writing down notes on a piece of paper. Draw 4 rectangles on a piece of notebook paper that go from red line to red line and that are about 4 to 5 lines tall. Then connect the rectangles with arrows to show the sequence. It will look something like this. Let's begin reading. Ira was born on Shy Bear Farm in Montana, along with his sister Ivy and his brother Ike. Like all newborn puppies, the 3 young golden retrievers have closed eyes, velvety ears, and very soft fur. But unlike most puppies, these 3 were born for a special purpose. By the time they are 2 years old, each is expected to have become a service dog, helping a person who has difficulty moving around on his or her own to lead a fuller life. Ira, Ivy, and Ike are part of Possibilities, canine partners for people with disabilities. Bria, the puppy's mother, and Kathleen Decker, Possibilities foster puppy coordinator, take good care of the puppies. They grow bigger and stronger. Their eyes and ears open so they can take in the world around them. Soon they are romping and playing together, getting bolder each day. Kathleen begins to feed them puppy food when they are 4 weeks old. By the age of 6 weeks, they no longer need their mother's milk. Soon it will be time to leave home. Before they can help people with disabilities, service dogs need to learn to deal confidently with the world and whatever it might present to them. Loud noises, smelly buses, crowds of people. Each puppy goes to live with a special person called a foster puppy raiser. The puppy becomes a member of the family, where it gets plenty of love, attention, and praise as the puppy raiser introduces it to the world. When they are about 8 weeks old, Ira, Ivy, and Ike meet their new puppy raisers. Ira goes home with Sandy Welch, a 6th grade teacher in Lolo, Montana. Sandy already has her own beautiful golden retriever, Lady Grizz. Lady and Ira quickly become friends. Kathleen visits Ira and Sandy a month later. She wants to see how Ira is doing and check on his service dog skills. One of the most important tasks a service dog performs is retrieving things such as dropped keys. Sandy has already been working on this skill with Ira, so Kathleen throws her keys and tells Ira to fetch them. He runs over, picks them up in his mouth, and brings them back to Kathleen. Good news! Ira is already on his way to becoming a service dog. Let's stop here and think about our guiding question. In what order does Ira learn new skills? Ira has learned a new skill. What is it? Yes, that's right. He has learned to fetch keys. Can you find a piece of text evidence that supports this conclusion? You'll see I've highlighted in red the evidence that I've found. In the text it says he runs over, picks them up in his mouth, and brings them back to Kathleen. Did you find that too? Great. Let's continue reading. All along, the puppy raisers meet as a group to learn how to teach the young dogs what they need to know. The puppies have to learn how to come or to sit on command and how to walk at heel on a leash. Kathleen also shows them how to teach the puppies to press a wheelchair access sign with their paw. The symbol appears on buttons that open doors automatically when pressed. Kathleen uses a plastic lid attached to a stick with a strip of cloth. On the lid is the wheelchair access sign. She puts a dog treat on the deck and covers it with the lid. One by one, the puppies sniff and push the lid with their noses, trying to get at the treat. But only when they scratch at it with a foot does Kathleen lift the stick, so the puppy is rewarded. There are new skills that Ira learns on this page. What are they? Yes, that's right. He learns to sit and come on command, how to walk at heel on a leash, and how to press a wheelchair access sign with his paw. This might be a good time for us to stop and take some notes from our reading. Let's write down the skills in order that Ira has learned so far. Make your paper look similar to mine. I've written down Ira goes to his puppy raiser Sandy and learns to fetch keys. Ira learns to sit and come, walk on heel on a leash, and press a wheelchair access sign with his paw. Let's continue reading. Next, the group goes to the bus station. The bus company loans Possibilities a bus and driver. The puppies practice getting on and off over and over again. They ride around town and learn to stay calm on the bus as it stops and starts. By the end of the day, riding the bus has become a car. The puppy raisers take the dogs wherever they can, such as to sporting events and the farmer's market. Every 2 weeks, the group meets at a different place somewhere in town. At the mall, the puppies learn not to be distracted at the pet store or by the crowds of people walking by. They also practice pushing the button with the wheelchair sign to open the door. At the university, they learn how to pull open a door using a tug made of rope tied to the knob. At the library, they learn to lie quietly under the table while the puppy raisers look through the books. They also learn how to enter the elevator correctly, walking right beside the puppy raiser instead of going in front or behind. It would be dangerous if the elevator door closed on the leash. I see more text evidence for the skills that Ira is learning. What do you see? Let's take a look. I see that the text says Ira learns to stay calm on the bus, not to be distracted at the pet store or by the crowds of people walking by, and how to pull open a door using a tug made of rope tied to the knob. Let's add these details to our notes. I will add them to my chart while you also write them on your paper. All right, let's keep reading. Sandy brings Ira to her classroom 2 days a week. She explains to her students the importance of training Ira correctly. Ira needs to learn to lie down by himself and stay there, even if he gets bored, she says. You have to leave him alone, even if he wants to be petted, so he doesn't get distracted from his job. You can also help teach the other children not to pet a service dog in training. Ira has his own corner of the room where he must lie quietly on his rug. If he gets up and wanders around, Sandy says in a firm voice, "Rug." Then she tells Ira to sit, lie down, or stay. He must also learn to always stay close to the person he is helping. When Sandy and the students work with Ira, they form a circle and bring Ira into the center. Then one of the children calls him. He knows he'll get a treat if he lays his head in the child's lap. The children take turns calling him, helping him learn to come reliably every time he is called. Then they help teach him to use his nose to push a light switch, another important job for a service dog to learn. Ira goes all over the school, so he gets used to noisy places like the cafeteria and the gym during pep rallies. Sandy also takes him to other classrooms and tells the other students about service dogs. As summer approaches, Sandy's students must say goodbye to Ira. Each child gets a chance to say what having Ira in the classroom meant to her or him. I feel special because I got to help train Ira, says one. I never liked dogs before Ira came, but now I like having him around, confesses another. Having Ira in the classroom has made me feel beyond wonderful, says a third. To reward the children for their help, Sandy arranges a field trip to Shy Bear Farm. The students take turns making dog toys, working on scrapbooks for Ira's new companion, touring the farm, and playing with the 6-week-old puppies. They also get to say one last goodbye to Ira. As summer starts, it's time for Ira to leave Sandy and go for more detailed service dog training. But his assigned training facility isn't ready yet. Glenn Martin, director of Possibilities, can't find another service dog group that can use Ira. Everyone worries. What will happen? Can Ira learn a new career? Though they rarely take dogs raised and trained elsewhere, Guide Dogs for the Blind in San Rafael, California steps in. Ira has lots of confidence, which is very important in a guide dog. So we'll give Ira a chance, says their coordinator, but we'll have to change his name. Each dog we train has a different name, and we already have one called Ira. We'll just change the spelling to I-R-A-H, so he won't have to learn a new name. Now Ira needs to learn a whole new set of skills, which takes 4 to 5 months. He has to get used to wearing a guide dog harness. Trainer Stacy Burrow helps him learn many things, such as stopping at street corners and crossing only when the way is clear. The most important thing a guide dog must learn is intelligent disobedience. Knowing when to disobey can enable a guide dog to save its owner's life. For example, if the blind person tells the dog to go forward when a car is running a red light, the dog must refuse to obey. Ira is smart. He passes the program with flying colors. After training, Ira is paired with Don Simonson, a piano tuner who had already retired 2 guide dogs after they got too old to work. Ira and Don work together for 3 weeks in San Rafael, learning to be a team. Then it's time to graduate. Sandy comes from Montana for the graduation. She gets to see Ira and meet Don before the ceremony. Ira and Sandy are delighted to be together again, but Ira clearly knows his place is now with Don. During the graduation ceremony, Don's name is announced when his turn comes. Sandy hands Ira over to Don. Ira is Don's dog now, and the two will be loving, giving partners. Sandy will miss Ira, but she is happy that he has found a home with someone like Don. At home in Kennewick, Washington, Don and Ira continue to learn to work together. Grayson, Don's retired guide dog, also lives with them. Grayson and Ira become fast friends, playing together just like Ira and Laddie did. When Don goes to work, Ira guides him. Once they enter the room with the piano, Don says, "Ira, find the piano," and Ira leads him to it. Then Don gets to work and Ira lies down nearby waiting patiently as he learned to do in Sandy's classroom. He is there for Don whenever he is needed. "I'm so glad Ira and I found each other," Don says. "He's just the right dog for me." Sandy and Don become friends, and as a surprise, Sandy invites Don to the 8th grade graduation of the children who helped train Ira. Don's wife, Robbie, drives their motorhome to Montana for the graduation. After Sandy talks to the audience about Ira and Don, she shows a movie of their graduation from Guide Dogs for the Blind. Then she announces that Don and Ira are in the auditorium, and Joey, Ira's favorite student, escorts them to the stage. The surprised students are delighted to see the results of their hard work and the hard work of so many others. Their own canine student, Ira, is now a working guide dog. Remember our guiding question? In what order does Ira learn new skills? We have already recorded skills that Ira learned in our notes. Let's review. Ira goes to his puppy raiser, Sandy, and learns to fetch keys. Ira learns to sit and come, walk on heel on a leash, and press a wheelchair access sign with his paw. Ira learns to stay calm on the bus and in crowded areas. He also learns to open a door using a tug. And in our last box we'll write, Ira learns to be reliable when he is called, and he learns to use a light switch to turn on the lights. Hopefully you've been able to finish your sequence of events graphic organizer. We will use this next time, so remember to put it in a safe location. Great work today. We'll see you next time.